Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first training for the 12Stone Moldova team. I'm very happy to have you here today. Let's get started. First thing is I want to introduce myself. My name is Larry Ferguson, and I've been with Tomorrow Clubs, involved with Tomorrow Clubs since 2004. Since I went to Zaporozhye, Ukraine in 2004, and I'm going to guide you through the preparation phase of getting ready for this trip. I'm very, very, very thankful that you're all here, and we're going to go around and do a group introduction. But before we do, I'd like to pray. Thanks, God, for all the things that you've done, and thank you for bringing all these people to go to Moldova this year. I just pray, God, for your protection and your wisdom and your guidance and your provision as we go. And then after we come home, I just pray for the seed that's planted, that it would bear fruit and even eternal fruit. In Jesus' name, amen. So what I would like you to do is to go around and introduce yourself and one expectation that you have for the trip this year. One expectation, just go around from right to left or clockwise. And if you could you come up to the screen, because I have a hard time hearing everyone. So if you come up, I'd appreciate it.
My name is Daniel English.
Hi, Dan.
From this mission trip, I'm not really I don't have any expectations, I guess I'd say. Of course, my last one I had a lot of expectations, and they were exceeded, and none of them were what I expected them to be. So I'm really just letting God do his thing.
Good. Thanks. Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in confession.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
My name is Victor. I am from Moldova, actually, and I have been to Moldova on a mission trip in 2013. My expectations for this, I guess my expectations, my goals, and what I hope to see more than anything else is for people to receive Christ as their Savior, not only the kids but their parents too, and that's my goal and expectation for this is to be an instrument for God to save people's souls.
That's great, Victor. Are you from Moldova?
Yes.
Wow. So what language do you speak? Russian?
I speak Romanian.
Romanian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's next in The Price is Right?
Okay, it'll be me. I'm Jacqueline. We met a little earlier, but I am kind of co-leading with Lisa. She's really leading the team. This is my second mission trip, and I am kind of going into this just open, like Daniel said, not sure exactly what to expect, but looking forward to the people that I'll meet and come in contact with and what I may learn from them. So.
Great. Who's next?
I'm Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
My expectations are just to make a difference in the lives of everyone that we meet along the way, not only in Moldova, but on the plane rides and stuff too.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I know some of you guys are related in some way, like daughter, Father, Son. If you can make that connection for me when you come, when you do your confessional, that'll be good.
I know, none of the pairs are here.
Hi, I'm Sandra Herring. This is my first mission trip.
Mhm.
I'm looking to be blessed by learning about another culture, and I am looking forward to being able to work with children and help them and just to be a light for God, and hopefully somebody can see that light and it'll do something for them.
That's wonderful. Okay, who's next?
I'm Kelsey. I am Lisa Goodwin's daughter.
Okay. Yeah, so you're one related.
Yes. None of the pairs are actually here because my mom is currently in Hawaii, but I'm here. Yeah. So my biggest hope for this trip is I do believe that all of us have been called to go to Moldova for a very specific purpose, and so I really just hope that we're open and willing to respond to whatever that purpose and call is.
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
All right.
Kind of.
Hi,
Kind
I'm Jean. My daughter Veronica will be joining me on this trip. She's not here. She is auditioning for a play.
Okay.
She is 15 years old.
Okay. Great.
She and I have never been on a mission before. This is our first, and we're both really excited about it. For myself, I'm a big kid. I love kids, and I love to play with them. And beyond being able to invest in children's lives, that's really what my goals and expectations are.
Wonderful.
Nothing more, nothing less. God always manages to show up and wonderful things occur, so I'm good. And I know my daughter is very excited about this too. So we wanted to do it together, and so here we are. Nice to meet you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Is that everybody or?
That's everybody that's able to make it to the meeting.
Okay.
We do have a father-son team. 14-year-old Noah and his dad David are going with us, but they weren't able to be here today.
Okay. Just so you know, if I'm looking at the wrong place, not looking at the camera, I have 3 screens here, so it's I may seem like I'm not paying attention to you, but I am paying attention to you. Just so you know. So, at any rate, let's get going again here. I guess the first question that I have for you guys is, where we're going to go, what we're going to do today. We did this introductions. Can you see my screen okay, or can you see my screen?
We can see you. Is there... Okay, now we can see the third...
You'd be able to see a screen with my name on it.
Okay.
Okay, so there's my email address. You can email me if you have questions about things. There's my cell phone. You can call me if you need to. We did the group introductions. We went, and I just want to thank you guys again for the commitment that you've made to come on this trip. I'm just going to say that you will be blessed more than you can believe. I can't tell you how thankful we are for you guys, but I'm going to say you're going to be blessed more than, probably much more than you realize. And so thank you so much for this. The Spirit of God is working in the former Soviet Union. I think things are in upheaval, and especially in Ukraine and Eastern Ukraine, and Victor could probably tell you some of what exactly is happening in Eastern Ukraine. And I think Putin is moving across Ukraine and at some point wants to, annex Moldova. There's a like a demilitarized zone, or a place where there's soldiers, Russian soldiers, right close to Moldova. So, I think the time that we have to share gospel in the former Soviet Union is probably coming to a close. And so I just want to thank you guys for your commitment. Thank you, and I'm sure that God will bless you in the things that you do. Where we're going to go today is I'm going to give you like a 50,000 foot view of responsibilities and then I'll let you ask questions about anything that you want to. And if I probably can answer the questions, if I can't, I'll find out and get back to you. So that's kind of where we're going. We talked about your expectations, and I guess the next question I have for you is, what do you know about Tomorrow Clubs? Do you know anything about Tomorrow Clubs? Anybody?
Just what we saw on the website.
Yeah, most of us have been on the website and read about the clubs and Moldova and Romania, and so that's the extent of what we know. Most of us have checked that out.
Okay. I have a video here, and it'll probably be a little jerky for you to look at it, but I think it gives you a really good idea of what Tomorrow Clubs is about. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but you may have seen it. You may not have seen it. I'll try to make sure that you can see what's happening here. Okay. So do you have any questions about Tomorrow Clubs from that?
Does anybody have any questions?
No. Not about Tomorrow Club, but I do have a question about the location we're going to be at when we go to Moldova.
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of the town is?
Yes, I do, and we'll go over that. But it is going to be pretty close to the capital, Chisinau, or I'm probably saying it, butchering it, but that's where it's going to be, close to that the capital city. Any other questions? All right, let's keep going here. See if I can get this to go. Okay, let's go over the goal for your trip. Did my webcam stop?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I want to put it back up again. Okay, can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Let's see, always on front. Okay, so the goal really is through your participation in an English camp, you're going to start or strengthen an existing Tomorrow Club. In this particular instance, it will be, I think you'll be starting a new club. There's no club in the place that that you're going to be going. And then to share the love of Christ is one of the most important things you can do. Children know whether you love them or not, and sometimes that's the most powerful thing they can do. Just love on the children and spend time with them and tell them about yourself. They're very interested in who you are. And you'll be working with a local church. You'll be working with a group of Moldovans that will teach the Bible, and then you guys will end up being the people who actually teach the English. So that's the overall goal, is to start a new Tomorrow Club. I think one of the most important things as far as having a significant impact to go on a trip is your heart and the spiritual preparation that you have. The Word of God and prayer and actually looking at your heart is important. And I guess more than anything, now we should be praying about the children's hearts, that God will prepare them to hear the truth of the gospel, and that they would respond. I think we'll talk a little bit about this, but nothing significant spiritually happens without prayer. I mean, prayer is as a tool, and one of the most important tools that we can use when we do anything that's spiritual. Peter Danica, he's the basically he was the founder of Slavic Gospel Mission, and he said that much prayer, much power, little power. The significance will be made in your prayer, in your spiritual life, in the time that you spend alone with God, and actually searching your soul and praying for the people that you're going to be with, and really praying for what happens after you leave. I think we always plan for trips and get ready for trips, and that's the most important thing to go on a trip. But really, the most important thing is what you leave behind. And here's just a section out of Peter Danica's book. It actually is called Much Prayer, Much Power, and I'm going to give you this PowerPoint so you can take a look at it. It's a free download, but it says that the Bible, the Holy Word of God, gives us many reasons why we should pray, yet many people do not think it is important or necessary to emphasize prayer. There are Christians who depend much on experience, education, works, effort, action, and programs, yet leave out the most important thing in the Christian life, prayer. Some seldom pray, others pray only when they feel like it. We are not to pray only when we feel like praying. According to the Word of God, prayer must be a regular, common practice in our lives. It is our spiritual breath and our life. We cannot live spiritually without it. Christ needed to pray. We must pray. In Matthew 14:23 we read, "And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on a mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone." Just think, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, prayed and talked much in private to his heavenly Father. If the Son of God prayed, how much more do we need to pray to our Heavenly Father? Jesus went alone to a mountain to pray, and one of us can get alone to pray. Any one of us can get alone to pray. It is most important for each Christian to go to a place where no one can disturb him and pour out his heart to God. And I think that's what we'll stop there. It's just, I can't tell you how important that is, especially when you're in another culture. There's so many things that'll crop up as you have been on mission trips, some interpersonal things and some things that are out of your control. And bathing what happens in prayer and having people pray for you is one of the most important things that you can do. And even now, praying ahead of time, and I would suggest that you guys get a prayer partner on your team, and you start praying now for the things that are going to happen on the trip, and then also the things that are going to happen post-trip. I think the real question is, what will you leave for eternity when you leave there? And I've been on many, many trips, and it's very difficult because you get to talk to the children, and they often ask you, when are you going to come back? Are you going to come and tell us about Christ? Teach us again. And I say no. I'm probably never going to see you again my entire life. The only way that I'm going to see you is if you trust Christ as your Savior. And I think you need to recognize that those things that are happening when you're there are preordained. They're preordained meetings, and there's long-term relationships that can be formed in those mission trip settings. Particularly, those relationships can actually be cultivated with the. Actually, I want to go back here with the. They can be cultivated with Facebook and with email and with Skype. So I think those are the things that you should think about as you're there and as you're involved with people's lives. Just as a way of example, in my first year in 2004, my translator, we met in 2004, and we've been in contact and working together since then. So we've been working together for 11 years, which is pretty amazing. and their family's been here, and my family's been there, and it's a tremendous opportunity. Anybody have any comments about that or thoughts before we go on?
No, the only question I had so far was, we're launching a new club. Does the club operate out of a church, or is it a separate building? I wasn't sure about that.
It's always, almost all the clubs are really tightly affiliated with the church. It may not be in the church, but the people of the church will be running it, most likely. Okay, so the church is really it is really the organization or the way that the children are followed up, and the Tomorrow Club's work. I just can't tell you enough about how it's actually impacted. They started in Ukraine and now they're moving into different countries, but I just was at a conference in January for all the Tomorrow Club leaders, and actually all the different countries and all the ones in Ukraine. And some of these are second generation leaders now, the leaders that came to the clubs, grew up in the clubs, trusted Christ in the clubs, got involved in the church, and then ended up now lead the clubs. And actually some of them have met their spouses in the clubs. It's a mechanism that God's been using to be able to strengthen the church and particularly change the culture and thought process of a whole country, Ukraine. So, any other questions or thoughts or comments?
No.
Okay, now we're going to talk about travel a little bit. I'm assuming everybody has a passport. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. We do not need a visa for Moldova, but I do ask you guys to do something for us. We need to have medical records and medical release from you guys. So one of the things I would like you to do is go to Tomorrow Clubs and trip registration and go. It's actually, tomorrowclubs.org/trip registration, and then check. Your trip is not on here, and that's on purpose because we don't want anybody else actually registering for it. But if you go ahead and check Moldova and then just fill in this will give us your information about any medical conditions or allergies or medications that you have. Also give us a release, also a family contact for emergency. If we need to get in touch with the physician, and then it'll give us also a release. So if you could do that, I would really, really appreciate it. It's something that we have to have, especially when you're in country, because you're going to be under our care when you're in country. So if you could do that, and that URL is tomorrowclubs.org/trip registration, trip-registration. Can you guys see the screen okay? Is it big enough so that you can actually see it?
It's big enough. We can't really read it, but we're kind of following along best we can.
Okay. Sorry that you can't read it. Hang on just a second.
It's okay. Yeah.
Let me get here. I'll try to make it a little bigger so that you guys can see things. Just a second.
Yeah, we can see it better now too. We adjusted our screen too.
Okay.
So.
All right. The next thing is you're going to be landing in the capital city and maybe Victor can say it for me, but I think it's Kisanu or Kishanu. Victor,
You had it right the second time.
Kishanu. Okay. Um, let me see. Hang on just a second. I had a whole slide just to be able to show you that. Now it's gone. It's a nice nice airport. It's a nice place, and you'll be staying in that area, in that airport. Okay. The person who'll be picking you up is the Tomorrow Club representative, and I'll show you him here in a second as soon as it opens up. And that's Volodya. Okay, he's the guy that's going to be picking you up at the, and actually he'll be the guy that's coordinating everything for us through the week.
Can you give us a photo of him so we can recognize him when we get to the airport?
He's going to give us a copy of this.
Okay.
I'll give you a copy of the PowerPoint, so you can actually drill down into that and get you can get the picture of him. Yeah, I'll open it up again so you can see him. I've been working with Volodya since 2004. He was at our first camp. He was 19, so he's just 30. He's actually lives in Ukraine. He might be drafted to the war. We're hoping that he doesn't get drafted to the war. Really good guy. He's an orphan. I guess his parents died later in life, but he's a really very nice guy. I've been working with him for quite a while. And this is linked. I'll send you the PowerPoint, and then you can see it. He's a Tomorrow Club trip coordinator. That's what his official title is. And all your what happened? All your any kind of communication that you have should actually go through me, or you can go to Volodya if you want to, but it's probably not going to be as efficient if it doesn't come through me, or actually goes through Lisa. Okay. Any questions there?
Now, when you find out the exact location, is there any way you could email that to us?
Oh, yeah.
Just because I have relatives there, because I do have relatives that live really close to the capital city, and I don't know if the town we're going to might be one of those towns.
Yeah.
So I just,
Yeah, it's to tell you the truth, the final location has not been determined at this point. It's going to be within 20 minutes of the capital, because that was the request that 12Stone made, that it would be that wherever you go would be close to the capital. So they're having a conference, a Tomorrow Club's conference on the 6th of June, and that's when we'll find out who exactly where it's going to be. The camp coordinators are here. This is Erik Petrenko, and I'll translate that to English so you can actually read it. That's him and his wife, Anya. I actually worked with them last summer. These are their kids here, okay? But the kids on the side are actually two kids that they adopted, and they do that on a regular basis. They adopt kids that are just on the street, basically don't really have any home, any place to call their home. So they give them a place to stay and adopt them. And there's a lot of children like that really are just basically on the street. And these, I can't say enough about these people. You guys you're in for a treat. You're gonna love these people. I actually got to see them in January at the conference, and we actually were able to ski with Edward, and it was a really good thing, fun thing to teach a Moldovan how to ski. who never had skied before. So I got to do that. Okay, transportation to and from the camp. Again, Volodya will be coordinating that. It'll be 20 minutes or less that you guys will be involved in riding every day. Again, the exact location is yet to be determined. I guess you all know where Kissineu is, and it's kind of, I'll pull it up here so you can see it. If you haven't looked at it on the map, you should. I'll back it out a little bit so you can see it. There it is. It's right beside Romania and Ukraine. Here's the Black Sea. Here's where all the problems are going on. It's over on the eastern border of Ukraine is where all the issues are. This is Crimea, where where Russia just annexed this place right here. So that's something that's happening. So the exact location will be determined June 6th. They're going to have a Tomorrow Club's conference, and that's when it's going to be decided. You'll be staying at Genna's house. Genna is the I don't know how to say this. Tomorrow Clubs is under the umbrella of Hope International. Hope International is a microfinance organization who provides small loans for people that really don't really qualify for larger loans, and it help them to work their way out of poverty. And Genna actually works for one of Hope International's partners, Romcom, and you're going to be staying at his house. I've actually stayed at the place that you're going to be staying. It's a very, very nice place. I mean, it's as nice as any five-star hotel that you're going to find. It's just really nice, and you got Wi-Fi. You got all the amenities that you're going to have at some of the best places in the States. It's a very nice facility that you're going to be staying. The food, breakfast and dinner will be at Genna's house, really nice place, and then lunch will be at the camp with the kids. Okay, so this is a very high level view of what your responsibilities will be in the camp. Okay, we're going to go over the different responsibilities and what you'll be required to bring, and then we'll also go over a schedule of what a day is going to look like, a tentative schedule, so you get to see what that tentative schedule looks like. And then there's different jobs that we have the camp broken down into different jobs, but this is more or less a very high level of what you're going to be responsible for. The next time we meet together, we'll learn a little bit more about it, and the third time I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of how you would teach an English class, and how you do the drama, how you would do the singing and songs. So the first thing is you're going to be responsible actually for one church service. I didn't change that. The Romanian team is going to be responsible for 2 church services, but one church service, one song. It would be a song probably a worship song that you're familiar with, that most people would be familiar with. Lord, I lift your name on high. That's something that they would be familiar with. You're my all in all. That would be another one. And then testimonies, 3 testimonies is what they would typically require, and then a sermonette. And typically the sermonette is 15 to 20 minutes, and Victor can tell you more about that. It's kind of out of respect. They ask anybody that's a kind of a visitor, and typically the team leader or the oldest male, to give a sermon. Okay, and then testimonies probably 5 to 10 minutes. So you guys will be responsible for one song, 3 or 4 testimonies. I think everybody should prepare their testimony because it comes in useful no matter what. And then one sermonette. Somebody should be responsible to put that together. And we'll go through those responsibilities a little more closely here in a second. English lesson, okay, and supplies. Let me open up this tab, and I'm going to show you where you can get some of this. I don't know, some of you guys may have already looked at this, okay, but here's the curriculum that we have, okay, and it's right here, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And each one of you will be responsible to teach an English class, okay? Now, if you don't feel comfortable sometimes, depending on how many kids we have, you may be able to pair up with somebody else and team teach. But if we have a lot of kids, I don't think you're going to have an option not to teach. One of the things that you should be doing right now is take a look at these curriculums and actually think about what age group that you would like to teach. The younger kids, the second youngest, or the older kids. We more or less break them up like that, although you could break them up by their ability with English, but this is what we use, and we do it. We break them up more by their age than anything. So here is the curriculum itself, and you can take a look at this, and it's pretty self-explanatory, and some of you probably have already looked at it, looked at some of these. One thing I want to call your attention to is that you take a really close look at this page right here. It's usually the second page inside the curriculum. And you should actually probably print one of these out for yourself, depending on what age group you're going to teach, so that you have a copy. We do provide a copy of the curriculum in some cases. This may not be one that we actually provide one for, because there's, I don't know for sure. That's something that's more on the logistics on the in-country side. But so you can print one of these out and you have it. What you provide, what is your responsibility, is here under this list. And I don't know if you can see it or not well, but these are the things that you'd be responsible for, and and these are things that you would use to teach your lesson. Okay, like a prop, a man's tie, a woman's scarf, and other ideas are a baseball cap, boa, silly disguise, glass, nose, wig. And that's something that you would bring along. And then on the right-hand side is something, when they say Hope International, it means Tomorrow Clubs. That's something that you'll be provided with. You'll be provided with that. And these are things to help you actually teach your English class, okay? So it would be a really good idea for you to take a look at that. Again, if you want to get back to it, actually it's in this link, it's in the PowerPoint, and you can actually go back to it and look at it, and look at the supplies and the things that you will need to teach the class. You also should be thinking about what age group that you want to teach, whether it's the youngest kids or 6 to 16 is typically the ages that we have. So, like 6 to 9, 9 to 12 or 13, and then 13 and up would probably be mostly the breakdowns that are used. Let me back up here again. So you'll be responsible for an English lesson and supplies, and then dramas and skits. Dramas and skits, basically they're silent mimes. I don't know, some of you probably haven't experienced with those items. And I can give you the details about that. And supplies for them would be any kind of props that would go with your dramas. Like if you need a sheet, or if you needed something that you wanted to, like a tree or something that you wanted to hold up, to go along with your drama, that would be what you would bring along. Songs, English songs, and also the supplies, probably either butcher board that has the song on it in English, and then maybe you want to transliterate it underneath that. Maybe Victor can help with that. But the kids really like to learn English songs with motions, and as you might guess, it needs to be simple so that they don't have, so it's not really, really difficult. Puppets, that's optional. Sometimes people take puppets, sometimes they don't. It's really what you want to do. It actually does very much keep the kids' attention if you should decide to do puppets or a puppet show. There are items in different languages too, or taped parts that are in different languages. Sports, we will need to bring all the supplies involved in any of the sporting events, and as we'll look at the schedule, you'll be able to see what that means. The chances are that there won't be many supplies at all. There really won't be anything, and bringing an extra soccer ball for the kids to be able to play soccer, or to have a ball as a prize, that would be fantastic. I always get my friend who goes to yard sales I said, make sure you look for soccer balls, because if you give a 12-year-old boy a soccer ball, it'll overwhelm him, because that's his life. Soccer is his life. I remember I picked one guy out that I wanted to give a soccer ball at the end of the camp, and so I gave him a soccer ball, and he was in tears, a little 12-year-old guy. But it's just something that they don't have access to. They are very, very poor. A lot of poverty in that country. People living in places, any place they can. In case I don't want to offend you at all, Victor, but there is a lot of poverty there.
No offense taken.
There's the gifts for children. In your class, you'll be able to reward kids. I always take like Jolly Ranchers and little trinkets like hair baubles for the girls, and so I take gifts for the children. You also need a gift for your interpreter, the person who's working with you. That I usually take some kind of hygiene, like maybe washcloth and a nice towel, maybe has USA on it or something. I usually take something like that, or a T-shirt that has USA on it. Then you'll also have a helper that actually works with you. You'll have an interpreter and a helper that actually is teaching the English lesson. So you'll need to bring a gift for that person as well.
Sorry, who's the second helper for the
interpreter, and you have a helper.
Okay. And then you're not staying in a host home, but I'm sure you'll probably want to bring something for Genna's wife. You're kind of in a home, but it's more like, it really is more like a motel. You'll see. It's just incredible. And then Cultural Day, and you'll need to bring supplies for that. Cultural Day is there's a day in the schedule that we do American Day, and they'll actually do a Moldovan Day, which is kind of a display of the culture. And for American Day, what that means is, and this is typically the way we do it, and I think I would suggest you do it as well, because it's a really good way to get it to work, is to set up an American Day. You set up stations, okay? And typically there's three cultural things that you want to demonstrate. The first one is you want to do something with history, because, of course, not a lot of people know much of, people are interested in the history, things that are not something that anybody in Moldova would have, like Thanksgiving or the Fourth of July, or maybe even tell how we celebrate Christmas. And when we celebrate Christmas, sometimes in different cultures, there's different days you celebrate Christmas, and different actually traditions that they have that are different than what we do. So, and I have a PowerPoint that kind of would walk you through that part of it. So one is history. One station would be history. The second station would be something like sports. In most cases, I do, and the kids love this, I do the wiffle ball. I take like 4 or 5 wiffle bats along and wiffle balls along. I don't try to teach them baseball. Don't ever do that. That's bad. It's just to actually give them an opportunity to be able to hit the ball and run to a base. I mean, that's pretty much, just being able to hit the ball is a really good thing for them. Then the Jesus movie. Chances are that they will have a projector and a screen there, but that's something that you need to provide. The Jesus movie can be downloaded, and actually I've already downloaded it, I think. And in the Jesus movie is not the full-length Jesus movie. It's the Jesus movie for children, and it's in, I think this particular camp is going to be in Romanian. Different parts of Moldova they speak different languages. I think this one's in Romanian. So that's good, Victor, that you're fluent. Okay, so the Jesus movie is used on the like towards the end of the week, and the way the Bible lessons go, they go from creation to the cross, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you'll see that when we pull up the actual schedule. And okay, hang on just a second. Something messed up. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I freeze?
Yes.
Do I look really strange?
Yes. But that doesn't have to do with the video.
Thank you very much. It'll probably come back here. Hopefully it'll come back. Let me see if I can.
You're moving now.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. You're unfrozen.
I don't want to be frozen. I hear that's a good movie, Frozen.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I never saw it, so. Okay, so we just need to make sure that the Jesus movie is there and you can do it, because that's the time when we actually give the altar call, or the time that the children can repent. It's a very special time. So that's something that you need to bring.
I've got a question. Are we doing the camp Monday through Thursday, like for those 4 days? Or is it on Friday too?
Yeah, it'll be on Friday too.
Okay, so 5 days. And we'll probably show the Jesus movie on Friday, the last day?
Actually, usually we do it on Thursday. There's something that we'll go over with. There's a parents' presentation that you're going to be preparing for throughout the week, and that's typically on Friday. It's a very limited schedule on Friday. You get the parents. We ask the parents to come and see what the kids learned, and it's actually an opportunity for us to present the gospel to the parents, as well as for them to see their children, and also promote the start of the Tamar Club. So, and that's really when you say goodbyes and everything. So it's a very limited schedule on Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, can we ask you a question about Cultural Day?
Sure.
You were saying there's
Oh
three
yeah.
stations.
Okay, I missed the third one. I'm sorry.
Bugging us.
I jumped over it. The third one, believe it or not, is food. Okay,
Okay.
and we've always done this, and I know you're gonna. If there's any nurses in there, they're gonna shudder. But we always do peanut butter and jelly. We've always done it. We've had never ever had a problem with any kind of peanut allergy, and the kids love it. You know, if you want to do something else like hot dogs or something, I guess you could do that, but it's always a big hit, peanut butter and jelly. And maybe if you, they don't have the same kind of reaction to peanut butter as we do for some reason. I'm not quite sure why.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping me. Okay. You're going to be, this is the way that I would break this down. And so I would think that you guys should be starting to think about what you want to do on the team. You need a sports leader, somebody that's going to be responsible to prepare, bring all the supplies, and bring all the games for the camp. Okay. One of the ones that's always a hit with the kids is we bring giant slingshots to shoot water balloons at the So what we end up doing there is we break each of them is on a, they're actually in a class, so we each give them each a sheet, and then we send them down at the other side of the field, and we tell them to hold on to the sheet. The whole team has to hold around the sheet, and then they're able to move around, and then we start 4 or 5 water balloons that we launch up in the air, and they just absolutely love that. They love to get wet. And their goal is to catch as many of those water balloons as they can. The winner actually gets a prize, but the winner actually gets to do something for us. It's all the leaders have to get in a 10 by 10 square area where they can't come out. And the balloons that the kids actually have caught, they get to basically pelt all the leaders with those water balloons.
Oh, that's great.
They just absolutely, the kids just absolutely love that. I mean, they just.
I understand.
And we can dodge the water.
Exactly, dodgeball.
So we need a team photographer. I'm sure there's somebody that takes pictures with your team that would probably be one of their major responsibilities. So everybody doesn't have to have a camera and going around and snapping pictures. Obviously, you're going to want to take some pictures of your team and the kids that you have. But it's really nice if you have one person who's more or less, dedicated to taking pictures, and then they'll also be responsible to kind of, gather them together and put them in a place where you can look at them when you're done. And then in our case, on our trips, we always have to have somebody that puts together the presentation at the end of the the time when you're actually coming back home. With the advances in technology, it's really nice. And the Macs have a nice thing where you can put a nice slideshow together with some, with the pictures, and just kind of put them up on the screen on the last day when the parents are there, and just let them run, because the kids, they like to see themselves. So that would be something. Then we need somebody that's kind of a geek that would be responsible for the movies and projector and screen. And the reason why I say that is because that would be me on a trip. Daily devotionals, I didn't talk to you about this, but every day the team, which would consist of you guys and your Moldovan counterparts, will meet for about 20 minutes at the beginning of the day, and they'll have a devotional time, 5 minutes or less, that one person out of the team would be responsible each day to give. Okay, so we need somebody that would coordinate that, and then they also would they could be the same person, but they would coordinate the sermonettes, the 2 15 minutes. Actually, you guys are only going to do one sermonette. Okay, let's keep going here. if it wants to go with me. All right. Okay. The English curriculum leader. This is a pretty intensive thing. Okay. And this is the way I suggest you do it. You can do it so that everybody does their own, but it's much nicer if people you have one person who actually takes care of the curriculum and buys all the supplies and for the team's English lesson and brings them back and kind of puts them in bags. The way that works the best, okay, is to get a 10-gallon, kind of a 10-gallon bag, plastic bag, Ziploc bag, and then get smaller bags and stick them inside that big bag. But the smaller bags are each day, and then you have your supplies in each day, and then you have one big bag that has kind of everything that you need for the whole week. That's my suggestion. That works the best. Now, one thing that's nice about you guys is you have time in the evening to prepare. In past years on these trips, you really didn't have any time to prepare at all. The luggage leader, this person would be responsible to coordinate the team's luggage and transportation. That actually includes, if anything gets lost. The times that you're going to need that person to kind of coordinate that and is actually when you get off the airplane, when you get on the airplane, when you load stuff up on the van, when you take it off, if you lose anything, and unfortunately that does happen. I think you guys have one connection. Music leader, that person would be responsible for preparing and leading the camp songs. Everybody is going to be up in front, help leading the songs, because the more excited that you guys can be about the camp, and the more energy that you can give off, the better the camp is going to be. So I know, like towards the end of the week, it gets hard because you've traveled 10 hours on an airplane and you never got over the jet lag, and it's just hard sometimes to keep going at a high level. But a high level really actually gives the kids a better experience. And then they'd be responsible for preparing and leading the songs for the church service as well, this person. And it's only one song. Maybe somebody's a worship leader, maybe somebody just likes that type of thing. We need a nurse and a first aid, and that person will be responsible for
music leader.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the responsibilities once again, please?
Yeah. It would be, you'd be responsible for leading the camp songs. Typically, every one of the main meetings that we have, and we'll go over the schedule here in a second. They usually ask the American team to lead at least one or two songs in each one of those meetings. It's about a half an hour.
Like one or two songs?
Yeah, one or two songs. And it's typically songs like, I don't know if you know Who's the King of the Jungle. I don't know if you know that one or not, but it has nice motions to it, and the kids really like that. Like Hallelujah, 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 Praise you the Lord. They really like that, where they get up and down and they have to do things. Father Abraham, it's another one that they like. Anything that they have to do a lot of motions with, they really like. And that would be the camp songs.
Correct.
The church songs would be more worship type songs.
Right. No, but the camp songs would be like this person will be responsible for 2 songs a day, like the kids' camp songs, like Father Abraham. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I'll provide you a list of ones that I've used in the past that are successful. So I'm not going to let you high and dry to figure this out on your own. Of course, unfortunately, you need a nurse. Or fortunately, I don't know. That person should be responsible for the medicine kit and gather any information, emergency contact list, and the things that we went over with the registration, and also responsible for there's always skin knees or somebody that falls or somebody that's crying, and sometimes it just needs somebody to put your arm around the kid and put a Band-Aid on it and say you're all right. I think there's some nurses in your group or something. That's what somebody was telling me. Is there?
We have two.
Yeah.
Yes, I have two. Victor and Kelsey are newly
Good.
graduated.
Then you can fight over it.
Fresh out of school.
Good. You also need to make sure, this person should make sure that there's medical and travel insurance information. That's something that the team leader does as well.
Question about the nurse again. Do we need to bring medical first aid supplies, or will there be some provided by the camp?
You need to bring it. I can't tell you how many times it's come in handy. I mean, Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, antiseptics for scratches, headaches, Unfortunately, you always have it. I mean, you're going to have kids that get hurt, and some adults get hurt. And sometimes there are kind of emergency kind of things that happen. I pray to God that doesn't happen to you guys, but I've had it happen, and you just need to kind of be ready for it if it does, and just kind of pray against that wouldn't happen. Dramas and skits leader, that person would be responsible to prepare the dramas and skits for the camp, and also would be the supplies there too. Also, in the evenings, this is something that you need to decide whether you're going to do or not. But in the evenings, especially if you're in an urban area, even if you're in a rural area in a village, and you want to go out and walk around and talk to people, and sometimes there's churches. The church has people that they visit on a regular basis and like take and help with food and whatever. But to share your faith in those visits, that's a really, really important thing. I'm going to show you at the end of this meeting a video, and in that video is our trip last year to Moldova, and two of the people that we actually visited between the time we were there in July and when I met with everybody in January, those people died. And we presented the gospel to them, and one of the guys I presented the gospel to him, and he just didn't want to have that conversation, and he ended up dying. So sharing your faith and being able to share the gospel is an important thing to do if you should decide that you want to go out. And I just tell you something else too. Teaching English is a great thing, but the kids that you're going to deal with really want to know about you. They're interested in your story and how you came to Christ and why it's important to you. Sometimes you just blow the English lesson off and take the kids out under a tree and just talk to them about why you've come and that you have an important message for them. And I probably never see you again unless you trust Jesus, and that I brought this message to you so that you can have eternal life. And I think that's probably the most important. One of the most important things is just connecting with those kids and tell them your story. Tell them what you think and how you think and how you how you came to know Christ.
Quick question.
Yes.
Now, all of the translators that will be there for the group, are they believers as well, or are they like college kids that just want to better their English, but they don't really know Christ? Like, where are we getting them from?
That's a good question. In most cases, we try to get people that are believers. In some cases, we can't get people that are believers. But in most cases we have people that are believers. Okay. I know I'm going a little bit longer. I think I'm going to try to get move along pretty quick here. Things that you should bring. There's the list here. Actually, it's actually out on the website. This is something that you ladies will be interested in, I think, as far as things that you need to bring, particularly dress. And here it says the clothing should be conservative. Use modesty when choosing clothing for your trip. Be sure that shorts, skirts, and all summer clothing are conservative in nature. Here are some ideas what to bring. Comfortable, cool clothing to wear at camp. Lightwear jacket and sweater. Outfits for travel and sightseeing. Team t-shirt. You'll get a t-shirt when you get over there. For the church service, married women will need to wear a scarf or a head covering. Okay, and women and girls need to wear a dress or skirt. Men should wear dress casual pants, no jeans at church. Comfortable shoes and sandals for walking, tennis shoes and work at camp. When I go, I try to go as light as possible. I only take like 3 changes of clothes. That's it. The reason why I only take 3 changes of clothes is because I wash them out. I just wash them out, and I take enough like socks and underwear and stuff for the whole trip. But I just wash my stuff out and then use it, because you're gonna need your suitcase space to take things for the camp. So the lighter you go with the clothing, I would say, the better off you're going to be. I found that it works really good just to wash your things out, hang them out, and then you have another change of clothes that you can wear the next day. And a lot of times I'll wear my camp T-shirt, every other day, because they'll give you the shirt when you get there. A question?
Hey.
Yes.
Yes. I wanted to ask, I know, at least from in the past, you can get an extra suitcase, like a big one, if you pay $100. And I was thinking, if we needed as a team, like for example, to get more props or whatever supplies, maybe we could pull together, $10 a piece and bring an extra suitcase with us.
Yeah. Yep. That's a great idea. And what I would do very first, and I'm not sure what airline you're on. I think I got the itinerary, but you should check and see if they allow you 2 bags. Some do, and some only allow you 1 50-pound bag and a carry-on, and then a personal item. But you should check with your carrier. I know Russian Air, which is Aeroflot, they allow you 2 bags. I think 2 bags of 50. But that's a great idea, Victor, to be able to get an extra suitcase to do that. I mean, that's a great idea. Sometimes we pack together, especially supplies. In the past, we just bring all our supplies and any extra space that we have, if we can get all the stuff in, like half our suitcase, then we bring the suitcase in and pack all of our supplies so that we can get as much stuff as we can. So, because some people have more and some people have less space. It all depends. But that's a great idea. General camp information, it's right here. If you want to go to, and I will send you this, as long as I have your email address, I can send it to you. And some of you I know have already looked at this, so you can get all kinds of information about what you're going to be doing. Resources there. I think I'm going to hold the schedule because do you guys have time, or should I end now? It's up to you guys.
About how long do you need to go over? Were you going to go over what a day looks like?
Yeah, I was going to go over what a day looks like. Do you want to see that?
You could go ahead and. I think we've got time if you would go over that.
All right. Okay. This is. Okay. This. I hope you can see this, but this is a sample schedule. I don't know. We haven't had a real good time to talk to the leadership over there, Attic and his family. But this is a sample of what we did last year in actually Romania. But this is very similar to what we always do. Saturday you arrive, you have dinner, you settle in, you'll be in your host home. Sunday, the next day, you get up and you do go to church. You only have one church service, and then you have lunch. Then you'll have a team meeting, and then you'll prepare for camp. That's basically what day one will be like. Monday, it'll be the team meeting. It'll be half an hour, and then you'll register the kids, kind of divide them up, put the tags on them. They'll have a name tag. You need to bring name tags. And then we do a morning meeting. We do a song, This is the Day the Lord has made. This is the day. This is the day. And then we do a yogurt with blindfolds. Basically what they do is you get 8 kids actually. You blindfold them. You give them each a yogurt. And then you try to have them feed the yogurt to the other person that's facing them. So they miss their mouth, and it's really fun. Kids love that. Then we do sports, and then there'll be a Bible lesson. And the Bible lesson will be creation, and then there'll be fun time, and there'll be lunch, and then there'll be English. And that's when you do your English, and then will be sports. The dodgeballs we do on that day. Then you have the time. You have, in this case, you have a half an hour to prepare for the Parents' Day. And that's really where you do something with the kids that'll kind of demonstrate to the parents that they know a little bit of English. I always do the hokey pokey, teach the kids the hokey pokey, and the parents love that, or the chicken dance, So that's something that's interesting for the kids to do. All right, and then the evening meeting. Again, you'll have about looks like you have 45 minutes there. You get together. They give prizes to the kids for the kids who learned their verses or were good in during the day. You do a song, Who's the King of the Jungle, and then you give them a snack. Okay, and then you have time to prepare for the next day. And really, this is going to be a little different because we're really not going to be eating with the Moldovan team. We're going to be going back to Jenna's house and actually having supper there, and then you kind of have some free time. And in some cases, you want to go out. And this is very much similar to that. Same kind of thing. You have, team meeting and morning meeting. The team meeting is the time that you get together as Moldova team, an American team, and kind of worship. The morning meeting is when all the kids are there. Okay. So then you do sports and Bible time and a skit, and then lunch, English. And this is the day that you have cultural day for the American Day on Tuesday. And then again, you prepare for Parents' Day, and then you have the evening meeting. And this one actually has a skit in it called Chasm, and it fits this theme of the fall. The first day is creation, the second day is the fall, and then it just goes through. Then Jesus. It's basically the same throughout the whole.
Quick question.
Whole week. Yeah.
So for the skits, we'll be performing the skits in English, and are we going to have to stop after every line and have an interpreter say?
The skits and the dramas are silent mimes. They're Okay, the skits basically, and after the dramas, when you're done, somebody will explain what the drama means. Okay, for
All
the
right.
for the skits, here's a skit that we do on a regular basis that people like. The kids like. We put like I don't know, 5 boxes across the front of the stage, and under each box is a ball. But in the middle, between 2 tables, is actually a guy with his head sticking up in the box. Okay, so we take a group of kids out, and then one by one we bring them in and say, "This is a race. You want to go as fast as you can. You want to take the box off and say what kind of ball it is." Okay, so they go ball 1, it's a basketball. Ball 2, it's a soccer ball. The third one is the guy's head. So they take the ball off, the box off, and they see the guy's head and they go, ah! So it's just a fun skit time kind of thing that the kids really like, because the kids are they're kind of in on the joke, and we do other things like that. But that's kind of the way it goes. Okay.
One other question, Larry.
Yes.
We were just curious about the dramas. You had indicated that we bring props with us, but if these are silent, it almost sounds like you guys have them already set up and predefined.
Yeah, we do have ones that we use, but you're welcome to use whatever you want. Okay.
Are they in the booklet? The skits, are they already in the booklet?
No. I have them, and I'll provide them for you, and we can go over them later. This is high level. We can get into the detail if you want to, but they're very. I know you've seen them, that people, like Street Ministry and stuff has done the silent mimes, and then somebody gets up and kind of explains them at the end. They're all something like that. For instance, the chasm on the first day, basically there's 2 people come out from either side, and they pretend there's a hole in the middle between them, the 2 of them. And there's no way to get across. They want to get across, but there's no way to get across. And then Jesus comes up, somebody with a sheet on comes up and puts his arms out, and one guy's able to come across to the other guy through Jesus. So it's demonstrates the whole idea of sin, and how sin separates us from God, and Jesus is the only way that we can get across. So it's a silent mime. Okay. I have one more thing. You can watch it if you want to, but I'm done. Let's see. This is I have a YouTube channel of past camps that we've done, and here's one of the one that we did last year in Moldova. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Yes.
I'm full of questions.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. At the house we're going to be staying at, you said there's going to be amenities. Is there going to be a washer and dryer there?
Yes, actually there is.
Okay. And is there going to be, should we bring our own detergent, or is it going to be there?
I don't know, but I think I'd bring my own.
Right. I think a lot of people do.
But I was just thinking, it's so convenient.
It's a very, very nice place. That's all I can say. Okay. I think that's all I have. I'm sorry it took a little longer than I expected.
Sorry.
If you guys, I need to know when you're going to meet again so we can have our next meeting. And the next meeting we'll get.
I will have Lisa email you. I'm gonna let Lisa decide. I was going to throw out June 7th, but I'll just ask Lisa to email you to confirm.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand. I'm leaving the country. Actually, I'm leading 2 teams, one to Russia and actually another one to Moldova. So I'll be leaving on the 10th of July, and I won't be back until after you guys are done. So.
Okay.
So we need to try to get everything. You need probably about 3 more sessions to get everything
Okay.
done.
Okay. All right. I'll ask Lisa, or I will email you this week. We'll set some dates.
Yep. And if I could ask you guys to go out and register, so that we can have that information, that'd be wonderful. All right.
Larry, ask question. When will we get the PowerPoint from you, or how can we get the PowerPoint from you? I don't know if you have all of our email addresses.
A real good way to do that would be just to join me on Facebook, and I can put that out there so that you can see it.
Yeah, do that.
Or if you email it to Lisa and she forwards.
But we'll get it off of there.
Let me see here.
5 pages of it.
Can you see the chat on the GoToMeeting?
No.
Okay. My Facebook address is just facebook.com/LJ Ferguson. LJ Ferguson.
LJ Ferguson.
And then if you send me your contact information through that, I can get you all this. This is all going to be, it's in Google. It's going to be in Google Docs, and I'll just send you the link, and you can go and look at it.
Okay, yeah. If you'll send that to Lisa, we'll make sure we forward it to everybody. That'd be great.
Okie dokie. Thanks again.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Larry.